He literally knows everybody. I was driving home from work one time, and I hit somebody's car. So I cursed to myself, I park, I put my business card under the windshield, and I said, hey, I'm sorry I hit your car, call me, and I'll pay for it. Guy calls me up, he's like, oh, you work for Steve, I love Steve.
We had a meeting in Hartford, Connecticut, had a late night flight, and terrible weather, our flight's delayed. We land at 2:30 in the morning. No cabs, no rental cars. We're trying to figure out how to get to our hotel, and I hear, hi, Steve.
Steve in Amburgh has a different kind of success story. His success is built on the principles of the 3 F's: faith, family, and friends. He's built a legacy based on building relationships, and he's built KDC based on a language all of his own.
Your ego is not your amigo.
Patience is a virtue, but not in this case.
You think life is tough compared to what?
Arrogance is the anesthetic that dulls the pain of stupidity.
Do all the good that you can with all the good that you have for as long as you can.
Assemble the best team and then get the hell out of the way.
They're all very true.
If you've known Steve for 5 minutes, it's like you've known him for 50 years. From the time he sold explosives with the family business, to his work for North Texas developer John Carpenter, to 32 years as leader of KDC, Steve's secret formula is simple: his ability to connect. And while the building projects he has led have been legendary, from Toyota to City Line to Legacy West and to many others around the country, his real legend starts when he gets to know you.
He is my kind of guy. He is a big picture visionary, he's not a glass half full guy like I am. He's a glass all the way full all the time, and which I found very compelling.
What he sells and what he exudes is trust. He's just very trustworthy, and I think part of that's his transparency, his down-to-earth persona.
How did I get in the real estate business? I got into it because somebody suggested I get in. To this day, I still don't have a real estate license. Holding the hand of the client and letting them know you're there for them every step of the way, and the client is always first. That's a long way of saying I'm lucky to be where I am today.
To be successful in North Texas commercial real estate, you have to be able to stomach the ebbs and flows. Over the years, KDC has done that well. Certainly, some of that comes from the entrepreneurial spirit in North Texas, but more likely, it is the spirit and the culture at KDC that Steve has helped instill. He will tell you that it has been an honor and a privilege for KDC to have developed more than $3.5 billion worth of corporate office buildings in just the last 7 years.
It's a really proud moment when you go to the ribbon cutting and the CEO of the company comes up and says, we couldn't have done it without you. And it's not me, it's our entire group.
He would tell you, because he's humble, that it was being at the right place at the right time. DFW for the last 20 years has been an incredible place to live and work with just the amount of people coming in, the amount of companies coming in. He was the catcher in the catcher's mitt, right?
If someone told you, hey, so-and-so's in the market for 1 million feet and they're going to do a build-a-suit, anybody in this market would say, oh, I guess that's going to KDC. When you have the relationships and the experience and the depth and the breadth that KDC had, it wasn't a foregone conclusion, but it wasn't a surprise either.
It took KDC more than 30 years to become an overnight success, but winning and then delivering on the major projects allowed Steve to dig deep and work on the projects that matter most.
And we were thinking he would make a financial donation. But lo and behold, within 15 minutes, he backed his chair up, leaned back, and said, do you know how we're going to get this building built? I have been letting out hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts to the top 3 general contractors in Dallas. And they call me every single day and say, how can we thank you? He said, I just figured out how they're going to thank me. They're going to build this building for us.
To see a not-for-profit such as the 24 have the ability to house 60 homeless and people that are fighting addiction and alcoholism, it's what we're supposed to do. I think, scripturally, when you've been blessed with a lot, you're supposed to give back.
There's a saying in recovery, the spark that lit the fire. And Steve Van Amburgh got that spark, and he lit the fire. He not only built our building pro bono, but he has gone on to meet hundreds of people and try to solve this homeless problem.
Each year, Steve seeks out 1 or 2 projects to help community organizations.
I think what I have learned and continue to learn from Steve is when you are willing to put other people above yourself, you can make a greater impact in the lives of the people around you.
I think he's reached a point that it's not about him anymore, and I think he's trying to do things to help the community. And I think he likes to make a difference, and I think he sees that as something that he can do to help people.
KDC is a prolific developer, built, a massive company basically overnight, but is the most sort of humble and ego-free development company that you've ever heard of. Steve certainly has a big personality, but it's not about him.
It seems like everybody holding hands and jumping in the foxhole together whenever you have a problem is the only way to run a project, operate it successfully, and gain the confidence of everybody involved.
At his core, Steve is a believer. He believes in his faith. He believes in people. He believes in his clients. He believes in his company. And he believes in his family.
Dad's legacy, I don't think will be a building. I don't think it'll be a compound. I don't think it'll be a mixed-use development. People may say, hey, his biggest one was X, Y, Z. I don't think you've even seen his biggest one yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's built this institution that is KDC on relationships. The relationships are through the team, through the clients, through everybody. Its reputation as a Class A developer of corporate campuses is going to live on.
He's really done like the American dream. He's made it. He worked hard. He keeps working hard. I don't think he's going to stop working hard. He's inspired his children to do things. But I think there's a great legacy that he's going to be leaving.
If I can be a little, have some bragging rights, it would be that over the last 32 years, I have assembled the best team in the whole United States for developing office buildings and corporate facilities. So there is no I in team.